John Tavares and the Boston Bruins. Who would you deal off the roster to clear the money if that's what it took to get Tavares? Would you trade Krejci? Would you trade Backus? Would you trade Krug? Would you trade Rask? Where would you start with on the money?
Listen, I don't think anybody on the Bruins roster is not tradable. I would trade everybody to make the team better. And if getting a guy like Tavares is going to be a guy that's going to make you better, then I would move on from whoever I needed to move on from. I treat the Bruins the same way it comes to Celtics players. When we talk about going after a big name guy or going after a guy that can instantly give you that pop, I trade Krejci, I deal Chara, I deal Tuukka Rask. There's not a play I won't deal if I know that this is going to get me a guy that is instantly going to help this team get better. When you're talking about a guy like Tavares, somebody who scores goals all the time, yes, I trade all those guys away.
Where do you start?
Where do I start? I would start. Obviously, you start with Krejci because you're talking about a centerman and you're talking about how much. Which Krejci making what? $6-7 million now? Something crazy like that.
7.25.
You know. And you think about his production, and you look at Tavares and what you're going to have to do as far as signing him to a new deal. So for me, I start with Krejci, and then I start to see where I can go from there. Maybe you move on from a guy like Tuukka Rask, but the only problem was that who's your goalie waiting in the wings?
Okay, so that
situation. I don't know why, for the life of me, they gave Chara $5 million. That's money that I would be like, if I can get that off the books. See you later, Chara. There's plenty of people on that roster that, when you think about Bergeron, you can't really move on. I don't think you move on from him. I would start with Krejci first.
Okay. To me, it's Krejci and Backus. Chara's not on my list. I think he's brought you value the last couple of years. I'm okay with him.
Listen, Chara's useless. He's the only 6'8" defenseman that I know that's always getting knocked off the puck. Yes, a few years ago, tremendous player. I take nothing away from him, but I think now as a player, it's time to move on from Chara. You should have moved on from him 3-4 years ago when I was saying it. Time to move on.
When he was a top 3 paid defenseman in the league, making $7+ million a year, I'm with you. He was overpaid and a little bit of drag on your payroll. Now that he's down in the $5 million range and it's just a 1-year commitment, I think that's a value. That's good value for Chara. I'm not moving on. If you don't have him, you're totally porked.
Well, no, I'm not saying, but if you move on from him, you replace him with somebody else. I'm saying $5 million. I think you can find another guy that's more valuable than him at that price.
Steve in the comments says he wouldn't mind moving on from DeBrusk or Pasternak, and that's not the point. Pasternak makes good money, but he's a star. I mean, what are you talking about? And DeBrusk is $800,000 or whatever. No, you need as many of those guys on your roster as possible. I think that's kind of dumb, Steve. That's not – no, you start at the top of the roster with the guys who are overpaid.